NYC is a magical city. I recently went on vacation to New York because I was performing at Carnegie, and it was one of the most amazing experiences ever. New York City is a city built organically, based on ideals and dreams, in a way that not many cities today can claim. I'm most likely going to go more in depth on NYC in a future video, but for now, I want to talk about something that's fresh on my mind. During my stay in the city, I was eager to finally see MoMA. I had always wanted to visit MoMA and was pumped that the stars finally aligned and I was able to experience it. There's so many different pieces of art that I'd love to talk about, but amongst all the brilliance, there's one piece that really stood out to me, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Made with Love by Olalekan Jayefus.
These last few days we've had strange interference from unknown frequencies. Have you noticed?
It's also interfering with our signal.
Have you been able to identify it?
Not yet, I'm afraid.
Made with Love is a series of 28 triptychs, art meant to be viewed together in a triple, created with laminated glass panels. This choice to use the somewhat unique medium of glass will probably be the first thing that a viewer may notice. His use of abstract and bold coloring shines through the very gray, cold, and industrial background glass, and masterfully creates this atmosphere of warmth. Every decision made is very intentional and precise, and Jayefus was hyper-aware of how subtle decisions like these would shape the artwork. Jayefus explained that he wanted the scenes to generate inquiry, while being playful, whimsical, and most of all, accessible. It resides in the open-air subway station at the intersection of 8th Avenue and 62nd Street, for everyone to see. Even its placement is intentional, as it's a love letter to Sunset Park, the neighborhood in Brooklyn it's located in. Therefore, to truly understand Made for Love, you must understand Sunset Park.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. After you whose last is doomed, he's the worst known. That'll have your boom blown or either thirst bone. Rockets won't burst, clone, just don't curse the grown. On his own microphone, bring it everywhere he go, so he can bring it to you live in stereo. Panic, can't understand it, ban it. The underhanded ran it, planned it, and left him stranded. The best, any who profess will be remanded. Yes sir, request permission to be candid, granted. I don't think we can handle a style so rancid. He flipped it like Madden did the old jazz standard.
Sunset Park is one of the most diverse neighborhoods in all of NYC. It's a place which almost every ethnic group can call home. Until the 1960s, almost every immigrant was European, from Norwegians, Swedes, Italians, and Finnish people. The latter of those groups created the very first ethnic niche in Sunset Park, Finntown. It used to have over 10,000 residents, its very own Finnish language newspaper, and a thriving Finnish social scene. Finntown is extremely important to the story of Sunset Park because it set the precedent that immigrant groups have the power and are welcome to create their own subcultures and microcosms of what was, to them, home. In 1991, to honor and show respect to the Finnish community, the street was named Finlandia Street, a testament to the power of acceptance. However, after a while, Finland went. After European immigrants began to leave Sunset Park in the 1950s, immigrants began to pour over from all the other places in the globe. At first, the neighborhood was flooded with Latin Americans, coming from Puerto Rico, and then later Cubans, Dominicans, Ecuadorians, and Mexican Americans. In fact, they became such a pillar of the community that, in a 2010 census, 46.4% of the population was Hispanic or Latino. In the 1980s, Sunset Park also became home to Brooklyn's first Chinatown. Filled with an expanse of Chinese businesses, including grocery stores, restaurants, Buddhist temples, and community organizations, it was pioneered by Cantonese settlers and then slowly populated by all the other different Chinese immigrants. Today, it greatly defines Sunset Park as a community, alongside the last major immigrant tide, Gujarati Indians in 1974. who also carved out their own niche in Sunset Park. I would just like to say I'm very proud. I would like to accept this Medal of Honor from all the other Gujarati Indians out there. Thank you very much.
We're awesome.
Yeah.
Yay!
All of this diversity was expressed in the most primal and beautiful way possible. Food.
What? These old things?
Sunset Park has a thriving food scene unlike almost any other. Food from every corner of the world is made with a kind of passion and love for its roots that could only exist in a place like Sunset Park. It's honestly amazing how cuisines dance and mingle in fascinating ways. Food is one of the most critical ways that immigrants can interact with their home and with their roots. Food, infused with love and tradition, is how a second-generation immigrant like me can stay connected to my ancestors. And Sunset Park is the embodiment of that idea. This blend of food and culture is what Made with Love is all about, at least on the surface. Architecture and food from every corner of the globe meld together in these almost surreal structures that seem inviting, strange. Tacos are filled with mailboxes and street lamps, and Chinese takeout boxes are transformed into monolithic apartment structures. All of it feels so personal, and feels, as the title implies, made with love. However, I want to look a little deeper. There's a recurring theme of objects like mailboxes and pothole covers being strewn all over the landscape, being hidden in the niches of food. It shows up as the garnish on hot dogs and the meat in kebab skewers. And to explain this, and to uncover the true beauty and meaning of Made with Love, I want to talk about probably the most deep and unique piece in it, the only one without food. This starkly isometric piece depicts a multitude of different stores and businesses, from Chinese markets to a Russian storefront to a bakery with kosher food. Sold in the markets and sitting on rooftops, lights, fire extinguishers, manhole covers, mailboxes, parking meters, and more can be found, looking almost like pieces in a board game, you know? It also could look like a funny block game if you look at it right. The isometric view also adds the sense of abstraction, like they're building blocks, part of something greater. Colors are bright and diverse and contrast with each other in a way where it shouldn't make sense, but somehow it does. But what does it mean? This is where I'm going to throw my interpretation into the world. I believe Made with Love is about America and the immigrants that build it. Pieces of some larger city are strewn about, but if you notice, inside each of the different representations of culture, the majority of the pieces, that's right there. In other words, the businesses and houses that the immigrants build hold the pieces that create cities. Immigrants have the power to build neighborhoods and cities, mixing their spices, clashing and combining different colors on one great glass canvas. Immigrants shape America. In fact, just a couple of miles away from the peace, in 1833, during the years this country was born. The poet Emma Lazarus spoke the iconic words, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." And to drive the point home, the teeny object in the bottom left corner that you might not notice, a cardboard moving box. As a second-gen immigrant, this realization hit me like a truck. It's so incredibly powerful, that idea that people, their culture, their roots, their homeland in this country has the freedom to shape cities. In a world where life seems to be more and more restrictive, and where freedom and truth seems to be more and more mutilated and marred, there's something we can all use to guide us, to change the world. We have to remake it. Love. Need to holding horses, bigger fish to fry. You're on the list. If not, hit the number spot. 10.5 Tims made to kick your bumper clock. Could have had a V8 F-150 quad cab, but I'm straight. Money comes to those like that 2-bit hussy that night that try to rush me. Dwight passed the Dutchie, so I could calm down so they don't get it twisted. Take it from the fireside and won't get blistered. Got it. What happened? Oh, it's not lit. These metal fingers be holding my shit.
You the first time that I saw you, you would be the one for